your entire crew looks guilty due to this attack. An entire station was damaged. Now I will pass the floor
I must
to His
also add
Excellency.
quickly, Your Honor.
Okay, basically, so, the ISB Director is on trial for treason, and we're just looking at the facts and figures here.
Not have happened. This admiral has been serving the Empire for years now, and we lost a very good command personnel because of their actions.
I understand. Now, Your Excellency, you have the floor, my lord.
From what it sounds like both parties were at fault. A star destroyer crashing to a planet, a station damaged, an admiral injured and looked to have been assaulted by one of our own people. This does not go well for either side, from your ISD to you, Director Ryan. I am not pleased at all.
If His Excellency is finished, I will pass the floor to...
My Emperor, if I may come up, I have some proof I have received from a very reliable ISB source.
Yes, you and the Chancellor are welcome up here next to me for these talks.
Thank you. Let me bring it.
Pay attention to the chat messages.
Makes no bloody sense.
Oh, I think the files got corrupted. I didn't notice that. Let's just say I knew what was on. If I did manage to get a call and a look at it.
I see. I will have to have words with Agent Murr at some point.
No evidence calls for speculation.
You will be silent until spoken to, Director.
If that matter is finished, and the rather questionable evidence has been discredited, then I believe it is time to... Oh, hold on, I will pass the floor to Senior Agent Jericho once again. He may speak.
I would like to state officially for the record that I myself attempted to use the intercom. It turned out it had been disabled for several hours before we arrived there. As soon as we got up to the command center, it also turned out that internal sensors and camera arrays had been erased, corrupted, and disabled.
Alright, thank you for that. Now, moving on to the next matter. I'm not exactly sure of the time frame of this, I did not receive the report, but someone has alleged that ISD 445 made a very dangerous jump that would have collided with ISB Director Ryan's fleet. They then alleged that ISB Director Ryan was forced to send his men aboard the ship to try and deal with this situation, as the jump was authorised by an ISB lieutenant. Now, does anyone care to elaborate on this situation and as to why an ISB lieutenant made an unlawful and dangerous jump towards the fleet of Director Ryan?
Your Honor, I'll gladly get my best agents on an investigation for this after the meeting has concluded, if you wish to do so.
We will have to look into this. This is a very volatile matter. In fact, I've received several alarming reports. Now, I do have to move on. We have received an anonymous source statement about the situation in Fondor. Someone has alleged that an ISB lieutenant, the same one as who's been accused of making this jump, was the one responsible for killing this admiral. It alleges that many people were actually witness to this fact, including Lord Vader and the senior agent, as well as a Sith Lord by the name of Galen, and a few 501st personnel. He alleges that he struck the Admiral over the head deliberately in an attempt to kill him, and then, after that, he then permitted the team to get aboard the ISD and have it destroyed and barrel towards to the station. Now, does anyone wish to elaborate now that we have received a witness statement confirming
Chancellor,
that an
I
ISB
believe
lieutenant
our mighty Emperor would like to speak.
and he has the floor.
And then any of you who might have witnessed this, I do want this ISB lieutenant brought in for questioning at some point. Those are my orders. After this meeting, this ISB agent is to be questioned and kept an eye on. You may continue, Chancellor.
Thank you, my lord. Now, if anyone has their tongue found, perhaps the cat took it originally, I wish that you now use honesty and tell me what happened in the Fondor control room and why one of our admirals was struck over the head to death. ISB Senior Agent Jericho has the floor.
I would like to once again state and reinforce that I was not, I did not witness this attack. I have the proof, which I can submit to you, of my TIE fighter logs.
Such proof will be gone over soon, yes. For now, we'll continue addressing the situation at hand. Now, moving on to the matter of the Coruscant prison disaster. Recently, as you are all aware, our prison facilities in Coruscant tragically collapsed. I have received evidence that states again that an ISB lieutenant led a team down to the prison in order to rescue a treasonous ST stormtrooper by the name of Sergeant Smith. This team supposedly encountered Director Ryan, who deduced that this team was in fact treasonous, and then Director Ryan was forced to bombard the building as this team was aiding a prisoner rebellion. Does anyone wish to comment on the prison disaster? ISB Senior Agent Jericho has the floor. It will then go to Director Ryan.
Even if supposed team was there to assist with the prison break, there were no shuttles on the prison. There was no need for a bombardment. The Imperial forces could have easily been dealt with without use of extreme force and destruction of Imperial infrastructure. I believe that was unwarranted, as the situation could have been contained even if they were assisting with a prison break.
A very fair point from Senior Agent Jericho. ISB Director Ryan, you now have the floor.
I say, my fleet nor any authorities on Coruscant were informed of this lieutenant's attack. It was completely unauthorized. And when upon my arrival to see what was actually going on and see if people needed reinforcements at the building, prisoners had already reached the platform, meaning that they're on the imminent of escaping. There is no way we could have landed any ships to assist with this further, so we took the last second decision to destroy the facility. It was the only way we could have dealt with it. We could not have sent in more ships to deal with it, because they had taken control of the anti-air cannon. In fact, if we got the Star Destroyer any closer, it would likely have also been damaged thoroughly, and the many city buildings in Coruscant would be at risk due to the weapon's high power. We could not risk an incident, and we had to make the regrettable choice.
Indeed. It would appear that this justification seems to be quite rational. A turbo laser could inflict massive damage upon the infrastructure of Coruscant. Now, if anyone has anything else to say about the Coruscant prison disaster, now is your time, otherwise we shall be moving on. We shall be moving on now to address the alleged murder of ISB Warrant Officer Freeman. Does anyone wish to speak on this matter? ISB Director Ryan, you have the floor.
This traitor was also involved in the incident with Zlat. They attempted to take over the bridge. I also attempted the same thing, execution for the treasonous actions they took. But I believe they may have escaped in the same way and stolen a ship. I don't remember what happened from there, but they are as responsible as he is over there for the actions that happened to the Grand Admiral that day and the several lives that were lost for no reason.
Emperor Palpatine, you may speak, my lord.
I want all information on these ISBs Freeman and Slat sent to me. If what Ryan claims is true, I will decide their fate myself, but for now, they are not to be touched, or assassinated, or killed. Is that understood, Director?
Is it fair to keep them detained until we have fully concluded the investigation?
Until the investigation's been concluded, they will resume their duties, but will be kept a close eye on.
Very well.
Okay,
No.
Director, hold on, before you continue on. Director, I would advise you not get angry at someone's decision no matter how many times you disagree with it. That is not going to look good for you, and I would advise you not to get angry at Emperor Palpatine. That's all I have to say. You may continue on who you're about to tell could take the stand, Chancellor.
Thank
My
you.
apologies.
ISB Chief Zlat, you have the floor.
I just want to, because Director Ryan has mentioned it twice today, the reason why he attempted to murder me the first time around, I would hardly call it an execution. I would more refer to it as a cold murder, not done by him, by his stormtroopers. He did not order a firing line in an orderly fashion, nor did he bring it up to court, nor did he consult with anyone. And in my opinion, the reason for it was unjustified, which I will talk about in a few seconds after I finish with the how the process actually went. He took me to the Death Star, me and Freeman, I believe. We had a talk. I told him how much I admired him, and I wanted to explain the situation to him, but he did not listen. I think he was angry that I apparently had hijacked his ship, which is not true, and I'm not sure who told him that, but it wasn't true. He had no evidence, and I swear to God I had never hijacked his ship. I'm not sure where that false accusations, but on me, came from. Anyways, what actually happened that day was later discussed with the Grand Admiral, who the incident occurred with at the time. It was an incident between the fleet and the Imperial Security Bureau on ship. My DT had only killed Shock in self-defense to attempt to speak to the Grand Admiral, since the Grand Admiral was using force against 501st and so on, damaging Imperial property of the Imperial Security Bureau, breaking down our doors, our equipment, and breaching during important investigations. In these matters, we do have power to intervene. That is why, yeah, I'm speaking. Director Ryan, you have acted very rude, and you have shown no manners today. Do you mind me finishing? Anyways, as I was saying, we in the Imperial Security Bureau have the right to intervene in dire situations like this one. What happened is we wanted to speak to the Grand Admiral. We did. Unfortunately, Shock came in and attempted to murder their own Grand Admiral, which is weird. We wanted to then set up a meeting with him in Main Hangar Bay, which we did. It was all friendly. What we wanted, the Imperial Security Bureau, what I wanted, was peace between Shock and Fleet, which was something that never before was seen. I am proud to announce that peace has been met due to work by me and the Grand Admiral being done. So that is something positive that I have done since then, even though Director Ryan has attempted to stop me. But yes, the relations have been going quite well between ISB and Fleet. Either
Right,
way,
I ask we
that
cut
day,
this short now. I apologise,
yes.
but the Ryan does have to defend himself.
I am currently defending myself. I have not said anything
You've
against
said
Ryan.
multiple points to the point where I won't even be able to give enough time to defend myself against all of them myself.
Okay.
How about you keep it at a maximum of 2 at once?
Slut, you have done well defending yourself. Now explain yourself, Director.
That says that on that bridge that night, the Shock shot first and they were simply acting in self-defense. I have CCTV evidence from that Star Destroyer of a Shock that had just come up the maintenance shaft to see what was going on and was immediately terminated by a Death Trooper under Zlat's command for no reason. They were not involved, they were going to see what was up, and it was not self-defense by any means. This is also a completely irresponsible way of dealing with the situation. They could have easily contacted my fleet, or another nearby fleet, or someone high command to help deal with the situation rather than take over the entire ship, leaving it vulnerable and damaged, and cause human life damage. Furthermore, on the Death Star, he says that he did not take my ship. Well, although I don't have 100% proof, is he really going to say that the 2 stormtroopers took over the patrol ship and headed directly back to the Star Destroyer to apparently make up their relations with the Grand Admiral, which matches his statement, isn't them?
Thank you, Director Ryan. My lord.
I have heard enough, I believe. Chancellor, Senate, I believe we must talk in private. The rest of
Yes,
you are
I
to
agree.
wait here. No one is to leave. Not even you, Director. Attempt to leave, and I will personally have my guards hunt you down and execute any of you who try to leave. I am not in the happiest of moods. Come, Senator.
The Senate requests
Chancellor.
that we maintain composure while the Emperor is absent. Please keep things civil. We shall return promptly.
I'm gonna leave now.
That's the next level to make it more easier.
Comms off.
Senator, the fleet just left the room without your permission.
how's everyone's day been? Don't worry. I really want to leave. It's the end of the video, guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And peace.
Fleet, if you'll stop using these comms, please.
That was pretty delayed. Don't be delayed next time. Thank you very much. I'm gonna be deafening my comms now.
I believe I will.
The Senate is now in session once again. We ask you return to your positions and cease any chatter. Now,
Apologies,
there's a few
Chancellor.
final claims.
But Director Ryan would like to make one last argument. He's saying it's urgent.
You will be allowed to claim argument, yes. Director Ryan, you have the floor.
I received another report from my fleet. More of a continuous string of infractions that these people have caused around you. A research vessel that has been ordered to keep its antenna offline and conduct secret operations has recently been attacked and completely wiped out of its crew by the same group of people. We found out this after seeing it in its condition and finding the ship in the nearby area. The chief also found information about this that I had investigating at the time. The troopers on the ship were boarded immediately by an unknown ship that did not have permission to land. They had no reason for this intervention either, as to the records, and have not even informed anyone about this. But they have stormed through the ship, killed everyone, and another admiral. I'm now down to one remaining, and I'm not sure how secure and stable the fleet will remain without this level of protection. This is a matter of urgency, and we cannot allow stuff like this to continue happening. Furthermore, I believe, in conclusion, there is no evidence that I haven't proven to be false, or untrue, or modified in some kind of way. Therefore, any action against me would be completely unjustified.
Alright.
If that is all, I have another matter to address before anyone shall speak. I have received yet another anonymous report claiming that ISB 1 Officer Gordon was in fact 1 Officer Freeman using some sort of conscience transfer, I'm not even sure how that is possible, to insert his memories into the controller of Officer body. I don't know how this can be achieved, but it is claimed that he is plotting against ISB Director Ryan, using this new body. What are the truth to these? Is it impossible that the controllers could do that? Emperor?
I would like to hear from Freeman himself this time. No one else.
1 Officer Freeman, you may speak. That was not a request, that was a demand from your Emperor.
Sorry, I had things to deal with. And no, I have not been plotting nothing towards anyone. And the information that I hold was keyed, but until it was stolen. I do not know how I gained this. Most of it, I do not have it on my own right now. But if I would share that information to the Emperor, as for an immortal life. But as for now, the only person that I know who has that information on them, or a piece of my memories, is Ryan, or unless someone can give it to me. But that's all I can say.
Hold on, before we go on any further, Chancellor. Okay, Freeman, is it? That's your name?
Supposed to be.
Who was this information intended to go to?
It was supposed to be a research for immortality to see if we can help out the Emperor. But it seems like it was assessed, but I do not have it anymore.
I want you to confirm officially on the record that you are who you claim to be. Are you 1 Officer Gordon or are you 1 Officer Freeman?
At this point, I can't tell anymore.
I need a clear
But I can
answer,
say
not
now,
vague.
Freeman, I believe so.
So you are alleging that you have attempted some sort of conscience transfer using the mind of a man who was found guilty of treason. I believe this matter requires much more investigation. You will have to be held for question. Now, moving on to the final matters, we will give yes, I know, 3 people will have one last opportunity to speak. We will with Sergeant Jericho.
With your clearance, Emperor, I'd like to go into more detail about this operation towards the classified ISD.
Go ahead, Jericho.
My ISD approached the unknown vessel as it was an extremely old, close, sort of post-Republic, but very close to era. Very, very close to Coruscant, which could have been a heavy security risk, as we know ISDs are likely to get through most barriers. We commed in to request what they were doing there. They refused to acknowledge. From scans, most of their systems were online, so there would be no reason that they didn't comms reply. We gave them two extra chances, along with alerting them that Lord Vader would be boarding their ship if they don't respond, at which point we boarded. The STs opened fire. As they continue to open fire even after seeing Lord Vader himself. At which point we went. At some point throughout the mission, we went to the bridge. The Admiral unfortunately got in a collision with the console. After Vader's force powers seemed to go a bit funny. I ordered the Admiral be taken aboard my ship, which at what point the medical center, the Admiral was healed, at which he gave away information regarding the virus that was aboard the ship that they've been researching. We had the Admiral arrested for a court trial on Imperial Security HQ, or handing back to Ryan if that was his request, which he didn't. At one point, he used a hidden data pad that my units originally couldn't find on him to open the brig cell. He ran to our lower engine room, at which point he was confronted without allowing us to recapture him. Myself and the unit attempted to remove his weapon before he shot himself, but unfortunately we were unable to. I have the security footage to back up the fact that we did not murder the Admiral. I'd also like to say that one of Ryan's ISB ships placed a virus onto my crew that caused one of them to go into critical condition, myself and the Stormtrooper Vice Commander to also be affected, and also 2 unknown droids that has tapped our power systems and sort of caused chaos to our ship earlier today.
I have 1,000 objections to saying Your Honor.
You may address these accusations after the Emperor speaks.
The virus. At least a bit when you were infected, I was already informed that by Lord Vader earlier this afternoon. Including when 3 shots were fired at your ISD. But I do not know about the research. I would like your information CCTV dispatched with any other information to my office. Now, Ryan, you'll have one last chance to defend yourself. And I'm very not happy indeed. So you
For what
better make
reason?
it good. For finding out certain information, as I've been changed on records or lied about me. They're hearing from
No,
the
responsibility, and I will explain the current allegations as well. Alright.
You may proceed, Director. Do not choke on your
Sing it off.
aspiration.
Okay. Alright, there's a lot of stuff you just said there. I'm not sure I can remember it all, to be honest, because he seems to want to keep this very one-sided, but we'll start off with the research. He says that the systems were online. He said most systems were offline. Victor mentioned that the communications array was not online and active. Even if it was, for some strange reason, it wouldn't have been open communications, it would have been emergency only. There is no reason that they would have contacted back any of these messages, and there was no reason for them to invade, because if well, I assume they would have clearly identified that my fleet, they could easily report it into me and figure out really what this purpose was. Then he goes on to say stuff about the Admiral somehow impacted the terminal. You're really trying to say he just fell over and knocked out? This is completely...
I did state that it was after the Force was used by Vader, actually, Director.
One at a time, please. Thought will be allocated. Director Ryan, are you finished?
No. I believe he was shot. I believe we need to do a further investigation on the impacts on the Admiral for this, but we'll have to... Later on, he also mentioned about some virus. How is this to do with us by any means? There was nothing on that ship. It has been searched many times. Because there's a research vessel, we do many checks on it every single day to make sure nothing like this does happen. This issue is to do with them. It's like these kind of weird hyperspace poisoning. It's nothing to do with us, and they have no evidence to prove that. He also then goes on to mention that the IC fired 3 shots at that ship and somehow caused robots to go after them. Well, the ISB chief fired 3 high-space tracking devices onto the ship as it was still under investigation after the attack. These are not harmful, and it's clearly proven that these did not do any damage to the ship. They will be done soon. This is complete rubbish, and these robots cannot be contained in the size of shot that was fired at the ship. This must be from some external means that this happened, and there's no reason to bring it up in this room with no cause or evidence. Any other questions?
We did limit this to 3 speakers. We are going to have to move on to the next matter after the Emperor speaks, but I will have to add, I have just received another report that directly links ISB Lieutenant Bar to the data downloads about Ryan's Star Destroyer, the same one which collided with Fondor Station. Now, this directly links a member of the ISD 445's crew to the illegal acts of data breaching on his Star Destroyer. Now, the Emperor has the floor.
Hearing that makes me worry more, but as you say, I believe it's time we move on to our last motive before we make our decision, Chancellor.
Lord.
I thought there was more to that sentence.
As a motive, I can assume. I did it now. I said. Oh, fuck, I forgot what I said now.
You were talking about the final decision, my lord.
I believe it's time we move on to our last ongoing statement before we make our final decision.
I believe we have had quite a lot of people speak to defend themselves. I think we have an ample amount of evidence and statements to move on to the final claim.
You're
Shall
to
we?
say one thing quickly, a suggestion, for what we should proceed with.
You are permitted to.
Everyone has a small 1-minute closing statement summarising all their claims.
That is a fair suggestion.
You have to admit,
That
as a
work.
point, this will make things easier.
Indeed, we'll start sort of clockwise. So ISB Chief is Lat, you will speak first, Senior Agent Jericho, then Freeman, and then the crewman if he has anything of value to say.
I just have one request. No long paragraphs of statements.
I second that request.
I've run out of popcorn.
I'm also going to second that one, and you know what? I'll do you both one better. I'll time them.
Need 5 minutes each, most.
No, 1 minute.
No, 1 minute.
My
1
lord,
minute.
I disagree with that decision. 1 minute.
Right.
1 minute. That should be perfect.
Go. Jericho, 10 seconds, go!
Well, mate.
Right, Zlat. You are permitted to go. Time starts now.
Right. First of all, throughout this whole Senate meeting, I have detected that I have changed my opinion quite a lot. I have detected that along the way there has been a lot of rats that have tried to get in between the relations of me and Director Ren, and I have figured out actually that maybe my claims were not justified, and his claims against me aren't justified because I think that people stand in between. There are double agents trying to get our relations ruined, and I cannot stand this lack of loyalty. This is the last thing I managed to sort of get as a summary as of the whole situation, of the whole picture. So I would like to way, drop my.
Apologise,
Okay.
Chief, we do have to move on. Now, Senior in Jericho, you will receive 60 seconds, starting whenever the timer begins.
I'd like to state that, of course, throughout the session, I've proceeded with the evidence, and I've submitted that to Palpatine's office as requested. But I'd also like to say I have my own personal scans and crew scans of how the virus was contracted, almost straight after the 3 pulses were sent out by the Star Destroyer, of which was owned by the director himself. I scanned myself, and other crewmen also did scan show up, and they were also in the early stages, straight after the blast, whether they weren't existent prior to. I'd be willing to submit my scans if you'd be happy. That's my time cut short. I don't believe I want to say anything else, sir.
Right. We'll move on now to one Officer Freeman. You will receive 60 seconds as everyone else has. You get to speak for 60 seconds and make a final case to admit your evidence.
All I can say
Yes,
that
you-
all my memories are almost stolen. All I can do truly say that we've been going through the directors as many have betrayed, and most of my memories were supposed to be combinations of technology and as well as investment achievements, but I have lost those until I can regain those. If I were to have those, that's not going to be part for me with the Empire. And that's all I gotta say.
Right, we shall move on now. Crewman Ray, we'll call you. You will receive 60 seconds. You may speak.
At the end of the day, there's not really enough evidence to support the fact that, you know, the director's proven guilty of all of these, like, charges. I mean, like, there's just, like, not enough for, like, proof, because, like, most of these alibis are very understandable, and, you know, it makes sense. And I think Dono or Alpharius could have, like, agreed with me, but he's not here at the minute. So, yeah, that's all I gotta say.
Hold on, I'm sorry to cut him off. Who is Dono? Because I know about Farius.
Alpharius. I call him Dono sometimes.
Well, if that's all, we shall move on. ISB Director Ryan, you will receive 6 seconds to make your final case against the accusations levied against you today.
It's
Of course, go ahead.
Alright, in conclusion of this whole session, I believe there's been nothing that has seriously proven that I've done anything wrong. I've been able to counter every claim sent at me, give rational reasons, or prove that I have no involvement in the decision, and therefore should not be responsible. I've offered ways to look into these incidents further that aren't related to me, as they are still with my fleet, and I would like to find out what is going on. And I will take the claim seriously, but the crew of 444 had some serious explaining to do for their actions, and I believe they are highly responsible for the events in this scenario, as proven by the set going out. In conclusion, I don't think it's fair for any circumstance or any consequences to be brought on me, and we should instead be trying to repair relations and get things fixed and investigated further. I am a good asset to the Empire. I would not cause any of these if I thought they were unjustified.
That
And
appears to
that's
be all.
time.
Now, the Chancellor, the Emperor, and I will begin to make our judgment. Now, Personally, I believe the accusations against Director Ryan are completely untrue and baseless. These accusations have no merit and instead reverse the claims of treason to the crew of ISD 445. I believe that several personnel aboard the ship should be questioned and this matter should be investigated further. Now, relations must be repaired, but if there are any doubts in the leadership of ISB Director Ryan, it has not been demonstrated adequately today. It seems to be a personal bias against a man that has developed into a situation of treason. An ISB lieutenant aboard your ship has constantly put Ryan's fleet in danger and breached his data. The Fondor shipyard incident caused untold damages to the Empire, with personnel and structures. Now, this is truly an insane situation. I never expected treason to be so disgusting under our Empire, but today, I believe that our best course of action is to investigate the crew 445, ascertain the involvement of the ISB in this treason, and, if need be, sort out a temporary command of the Inner Rim fleet, should any evidence against Director Ryan properly be brought forward.
Correct to speak, Chancellor, so we'll have to give him this chance.
No, you make a first sentence if you need to talk.
Well, here's what I'll say before we, start getting into the, final decisions here. Well, here's the thing. Let's say some of these claims don't hold the merit. Well, there's still the claim of, someone from Ryan's fleet did try to kill Lord Vader. Now, who that may be, whether you had some part of responsibility, Ryan, or it's some other rogue element in your fleet, I do not know. But either way, we can't be having that, and you do too share that responsibility. Do you understand?
I'm about to respond.
Yes, you are. I'm asking, do you understand? And you may respond with any reasons you deem necessary.
And I have offered several ways to investigate the fleet, as I am responsible for them. However, I am managing one of the biggest fleets currently in service in the Empire. There's obviously going to be incidents now and then, and I will put in as much hard work as I can to looking into these issues for you.
Alright, that's all I gotta say. If the Emperor's got any questions for you, he'll ask him on his own free will, which I will let him speak now.
Mine's not really questions. What I'm planning to do with everyone in this room. Except you and the Chancellor, of course.
Right.
Chancellor, may I give my verdict and decision?
Of course, my lord.
It is settled. First off, the crew of the ship ISD 445. A huge investigation will be launched to retrieve ISB's Freeman's memories to keep a close eye on ISB Freeman. ISB slacked, and then the investigation can prove until it can be proved what Ryan said is true or not about them. A huge investigation will be launched against ISB murder, including an arrest and investigation. Admiral Fred will be kept an eye on. But now, Ryan, it is your choice what I'm about to do to you. Oh, not your choice. What's going to happen to you, Director, is a lot. I am very not pleased. Director Ryan, you will be demoted in rank for some of your acts and what you have done. You'll be demoted down to chief or monster, depending how I'm feeling. You will then be kept close on your duties until either Director Sam or another director can take your place defending their fleet.
And you think the public will agree with your opinion?
Silence while the Emperor speaks.
Silence!
I
Continue.
am the Senate. You are very lucky I did not have Shock or the rest of my troops to arrest you. Director.
I urge you to take back your decisions.
Director
sense
Ryan,
proven.
you will not threaten the Emperor and make this a freaking trial of intimidation. I will not have it in this court. Neither will he, and neither will the Chancellor.
We'll see
The
about that.
public will listen to what the Emperor says. Get the troopers
not
to detain him
Let's
immediately.
call him to the chamber.
No,
Find that
let
man.
him go. It's fine. Let him go. It's fine.
I'm sorry, my lord. I will not have you intimidated by frickin' scoundrels like that.
Don't worry, he's totally innocent.
Do not worry. I will be announcing a new order on Ryan for his choice.
Don't worry, he's totally innocent.
Kill him. He's a
What?
Be advised, the director's actually locked out all the laser arrays and none of us can leave.
Yes, you can.
Did you just have your cuffs out? Anyway. No, I don't think you did actually. Okay, I am going to do that. I'm just I'm just finding my way.
If someone can use one of these ships and... Down!
Maybe it's
Blown up.
weird cylinder.
Be advised, there's 3 of his ISDs in orbit.
He jumped out. He mu-
There's a communications jammer on. Senators, do you mind overriding a laser field so we can get him back, please?
Wow. Wow. See, I told you the ISB Director was innocent.
We don't know. Yeah, we know that already. Maybe ship trying to block away.
Wow.
The 445 is trying to block his ship's exit to the atmosphere. Emperor, if you mind, are you on
He
frequency still?
hyperspace. I don't think you can.
Did he? Alright. Okay.
Anyway, pardon me. Master Wu Wei.
Yeah. I should have.
So maybe this is why we don't just leave like the entire facility controlled by the person on trial.
RD90. Wow, droids. Actually, how long have we recorded for? 57. That was 57 minutes long, or more. That whole. Oh my god. That was amazing.
Be advised, we have a death of a crew member unknown cause.
What?
Emperor, I suggest you get an immediate contact or call.
What?
Hello, Director Sam. Are you on this frequency? Hello?
If you
anyone
are,
hear- anyone-
yeah, we need immediate evacuation up at the bridge. We need to be taken somewhere safe immediately as a stenographer.
Here, thing. We're not.
I believe he's coming
Be
here.
advised, the ship's on its way up to the bridge.
Alright. Beg to differ. Don't particularly have much to command right now. It's all gone. My role's not worth anything, if that's the case. I highly doubt.
Advise Director Sam, you're still speaking confidently.
The Empire can't afford that right now. It would years to make it. Invader's fleet is good, but it's not. It's big, but it's not anywhere near as big as the fleet he took. I wouldn't say that position exists right now. Ground. Oh my god.
As we get back to the ISD, I want all patrolling the ship immediately. Is that understood?
I've kept an eye on it. The ship's safe. We'll take it to a safe location.
Sorry, I thought that was somebody else that just fell out then.
Bro, I ate clove. My god, my immersion. It's ruined.
You're not very immersive.
Why did the ship just vanish?
Now we're
Normal.
entering.
It's that you're inside the ISD right now, you know?
Device.
I was just wondering because I was like, did the ship get removed? If that's the case, we're all about to go tumbling down to the ground.
No, no, it's a cloaking device, don't worry. Hey up, we've been left.
No, you're in it. You're in it.
Oh, okay.
That's what they all say.
Can we change the meeting room's name to War Room instead? No,